So this is one of those things that I talk about sometimes where you may just get mad at me. This is one of those, boy, I saw a really good movie and there's no way you can see it reviews. This is one to just write down and put in your pocket for later, because this is a film that will come out. So there's a thing called Record Store Day that has been going on for a while now. This is something that independent record stores got together and created to sort of raise awareness of independent record stores, physical media record stores. And it's a day where manufacturers of LPs, records, will create special things that are very limited edition, and you can only get them at independent record stores on Record Store Day. Eventually, if they don't all sell, you can get them other places. But initially, it's just record stores on Record Store Day. For Record Store Day this year, because most record stores are closed and are suffering because people can't spend money there physically like they normally would, some record stores are doing okay by just selling online, and some have had an online presence already, but a lot of places that were just walk-up businesses, like movie theaters right now, are not doing so hot because people can't walk up or walk in. So in order to try to raise a little money for record stores on Record Store Day, filmmakers of this new documentary decided to release their documentary for one day only, or for a very limited time, and proceeds of that would go to the record store of your choice. You would go to the website for this documentary, you would find a record store if yours was participating in it, or movie theater, and you would pick that, and the proceeds from your digital rental would go there. This is the thing I'm loving about this whole quarantine thing, is that filmmakers and studios are finding a way to actually kick, they don't have to, but they're finding a way to put a little bit money into the coffers of theaters, which are making almost nothing. So the documentary is called Vinyl Nation. It is about record collectors, record enthusiasts, people who run record stores, people who manufacture records. It's about the whole culture of LPs. Now, I don't say vinyl. To me, vinyl it's a seat, it's clothing, you put it on the side of your house. At some point, people started referring to records as vinyl. I find it a little pretentious and annoying. No insult if you call it vinyl. I just don't do it. It bugs me. So anyway, Vinyl Nation is about the world of vinyl LPs, if you will. I've seen several documentaries about record collectors and records. It's something that I've done since I was a kid. I grew up with records, a little tiny turntable, little tiny 45s as a kid. Graduated to a turntable that was very disco themed. It had little disco lights in the front that would light up. People disco dancing on the inside of the box. A box, handled record player like a lot of us have, and they still manufacture. So when I got into junior high and high school, I became a record collector pretty seriously, and I've done a lot of this over the years. I'm pretty fast doing this now. And this documentary was right up my alley. This is the kind of thing I'm always interested in seeing. This could have been the 5th or the 10th documentary about this. I'll watch them all. This one was really well done. This one was very well shot. I liked that it spoke to a broad spectrum of different. It wasn't just collectors. It was, and it talks about Record Store Day, where Record Store Day came from. Talks to the guy who came up with the idea of Record Store Day, a place called Soundgarden in, feel free to talk, where was it?
Baltimore.
In Baltimore, Maryland, which we visited very recently. And it's just interesting if you're into music in general, if you're into physical media, if you're into record stores, and if you're into records, this is sort of a don't miss documentary, I think. What I liked was that it didn't just parrot the party line, so to speak. Amongst record enthusiasts, you'll often hear people saying, CDs sound terrible, MP3s are unlistenable, records are where it's at. I like that in this documentary, some people said, hey, it depends. Sometimes they don't sound as good. Sometimes they sound better, sometimes they don't. There were people of all opinions. It wasn't just the same kind of person you always see, and I loved that. Some of it I agreed with, some of it I didn't. But the fact that there was a variety of opinion and perspective, I really liked. I'm somebody who is fascinated by manufacturing processes. I find shows like How It's Made very relaxing to watch, and to get to go through this film, record pressing plants, and see, not in a tremendous detail, but overall see the process of taking a master and pressing records and cutting the dies and and casting them and all that, I thought was really interesting. And some of these places I'd heard of, some of them not. Talking to people who are DJ, talking to female record collectors about the myth that record collectors are all just old white dudes. Talking to couples who are into collecting records. Somebody who runs a manufacturing firm for large scale and small scale record manufacturing, record executives, the guy who runs Amoeba out in California. It was just fantastic. I didn't really want this thing to end. So how do you see this documentary? You can't. Ultimately, you'll be able to. This was something that was the filmmakers put out in a hurry so that they could do something for record stores. This is something that when theaters open back up again, this will play in theaters, probably town to town, festival style, maybe a wide release, I don't know. It will get a physical media release. It'll be a DVD or a Blu-ray. It'll be streaming. It'll be everywhere that you can see documentaries. I'm talking about it now because I just saw it. I really, really liked it. I would probably be interested in seeing this again. And I think it's the kind of thing to put a pin in it, that write this down, bookmark it, whatever. They do have a website for Vinyl Nation where you can follow them and on Facebook and social media so that you can see when this will get a release, when you will have another opportunity to see it. People don't make movies so nobody can watch them, so this will be coming around again. But if you are into the kind of stuff that I'm into, or if you're just curious, who are these nuts that still want to listen to records and not just stream things on their phones, this is the documentary for you. So look it up, bookmark it, Vinyl Nation.